Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Not here. Oh my god, this is so hard. Oh my god. Welcome back to Behind the Brand. This is our first episode in 2025. I'm currently in Brisbane, so come in with me and let's see how this week plays out. The key reason for this trip is, the way I see it, is understanding the property market in a space starts from physically being in the ground, on the ground, talking to locals, driving around various suburbs, looking around the demographics, what sort of people live there. So today we're going to drive all the way from North Brisbane back down towards Gold Coast and back. So it's lots of driving, getting a good feel for the local market and why Brisbane is an investment hotspot. Money loves speed, and whenever I have a thought in my mind, I instantly get into that space. I need to sort of lock it in and start kind of moving. When I had the thought of Brisbane, I was like, cool, I need to understand the market, whether it was property, whether it was a store, whether it was anything. I think the first point was, okay, I need to physically go there. So that's how the planning of the trip started. And the faster you move, the quicker you move, it's all very important to being ahead of your competitors, because if you take 6 months to come here, don't know what would change. Money loves speed. Some of the things you should look at when you're trying to find your next business location would include analyzing the area that you might have chosen or the suburb, understanding if the demographics kind of fit with your business and your market or whoever you're trying to serve. Another thing to kind of look for, which is something that I look at, is does the site have steady foot traffic, not just based on events or something like that, like steady foot traffic, whether that's the number of cars passing or people walking along the streets because it is in a community of buildings. Third is like the proximity between yourself and the competitors. How far are you? Generally, I believe that being close to your competitor is a good thing, not only for you but for them as well. They piggyback on your marketing, you piggyback on their marketing, depending on whose brand is bigger, as long as the area is not saturated with a lot of competitors. So for example, if you open a gym where there's 20 other gyms, probably a dumb idea. But if you open a gym where there's 2-3 other gyms and the population can sustain one more, then that's probably a good idea. And the last thing is always making sure that you are choosing based on the budget and the profitability of your business. You don't want to be in a very expensive area. You'd rather be on an area where you can afford based on how much investment you're putting in. If you're investing $1 million, then you want to be in one of the best areas, because the return and the requirements on return is a lot higher, and you expect to make your money back faster. Whereas if you're only putting, I don't know, $10,000-$20,000, your site should sort of reflect that. Oh, maybe I can get like a bag. That's a good backpack. While we were in Brisbane, I thought we'll just come in and stop at the LSKT HQ. Just gone in and come out completely blown away. We saw like a whole row of staff sitting there. The warehouse is pumping, there's orders coming out of everywhere. So as a business owner, it's always very important to kind of go into it doesn't necessarily have to be your competitors, but other businesses who are leading in their own space, in their own right. See what they're doing, see how their operations are, see what sort of point of sale systems are. Sometimes check what the receipt will sort of tell you what sort of system they're using. It definitely gives you a lot of inspiration. I've walked out feeling quite charged. Yeah, so super cool to be a little bit nosy. How high are those bays?
Look at that.
Huge. We've had a busy morning so far. We've been to a few sites. I'm just going to get on my laptop and prep for a meeting that I have with Peter Hull, who is the CEO and founder of Full Foodstop. So yeah, super excited to get on a call with him and just have a brief chat around some of the points we'll be talking about in the podcast, which is going to be unreal. So whether you're a fitness business owner or an entrepreneur in a particular industry or someone aspiring to be one, it'll be a very good episode to listen to. Was the motivation and drive from your upbringing?
I'm not too sure, so I grew up racing motocross, so I guess I've always had this like hunger of competition.
Day one's complete. We've had a 15-hour day. It's currently 10 p.m. at night. We're off to bed. Let's go for tomorrow. It's 5:15 in the morning. I am a little bit tired. We've had about 4 hours of sleep, but we're now back at the airport. This is the start of day 2. We're heading to Townsville. I am quietly excited, but I don't look it. Once we get there, we'll tell you what it's all about. We're here in Townsville and we've come to check out this property that we've been in contract for the last 6 months. So let's find out a little bit more about it. Being here in Townsville, looking at a property that we're in contract with is a surreal feeling for me, considering my real estate journey has only kind of been around for the last 6 to 8 years. And while I'm here, I'm reflecting on the property journey that I've been on, and one of the things that comes straight to my mind is I wish I'd started a little bit earlier. Prior to this, a lot of the cash flow money that I had was going back into reinvesting into various businesses, failing multiple times, learning and personally developing myself. However, a smarter choice would have been potentially not making that many mistakes and getting into real estate a little bit earlier. We have just flown in back from Townsville, got to the hotel, had a quick change. Now we're heading to meet Peter Hall, who is the CEO and founder of FitStop. And we're going to do a super cool podcast, find out a bit about his story. I am feeling a bit flat. It's been a busy morning, busy 2 days actually, not much sleep. We've just had a cold shower. We're ready to go. We're hyping each other up with some good music. Let's go. We just finished a podcast with Peter Hall, who's the founder of FitStop. I am exhausted, so is everyone here. We've had a very busy 2 days. We've only been out 2 days now. You know, what you see on social media is definitely not what it actually feels. I think Danny and I are probably, and Jay are working on maybe 4 hours a night sleep for the last 3 nights. Quite physically challenging. And I think this is what it takes to kind of like break boundaries and, you know, try to be successful is you have to put yourself into very difficult shoes, push your physical self and your mental self. Day 3, we're here at a cafe doing some emails. We spent the last 2-3 hours here catching up, which was much needed. It's always hard when you're traveling to, you know, stay on top of your day-to-day duties. Yeah, lots of catching up and trying to burn some fires, fix some things, and then also keep the momentum going on the trip. We're going to head off to meet a good friend of mine who is a very big property real estate agent here in Brisbane. Get a good sense on what the market's doing in the resi space now. We've done a bit of commercial already. Get an understanding of how the different suburbs work over here before we fly out to Sydney. Probably at the airport, we'll have a chat. We'll have another chat and debrief how the last 3 days are not. We've just got to Sydney Airport after meeting Harman and going over a property. It's been super interesting, kind of learning the whole geography around Brisbane and Gold Coast. I think now I've left with the feeling of, really understanding how the city works. And one of my goals was to come here and understand the property market in terms of like what suburbs are working, what's not, where's the commercial section at, how's retail looking, where do people live, and all the demographics. So that's been awesome. Before the meeting, we cleared our emails and felt very good about it, and now we're back at the airport with over 80 emails, and that is the life, I guess, of a CEO, founder, whatever, that you're constantly working and you're constantly catching up with different challenges. It's not as glamorous as it may look. So that's how I feel right now. Next stop is Sydney. We've got, I think, 24 hours in Sydney. We're going to shoot a podcast with Paul Waddy. He's a very knowledgeable business coach, entrepreneur. He invests quite heavily in different businesses. So I'm really looking forward to that. But see you in Sydney. We are here in Sydney, day 4. We're here for 20 hours, even less. Just finished a workout in the gym, starting to get our energy back, feeling a bit more, pumped for the second half of the trip. Today, we have an amazing guest on our podcast, Paul Waddy, who is a best-selling author. He's an e-commerce expert and a master strategist. He's helped a number of brands in terms of scaling their businesses. So looking forward to that. We're going to spend about an hour with him, pick him up. We've got a Maybach for him, followed by our trip to our next state, which is Adelaide. That's all for me for now. I will see you probably at the airport. We'll recap on how the podcast went, any learnings, any things that come to our top of mind. One wrong turning in Sydney can blow your time out. We took one wrong turning and we're about 20 minutes late to the start of our podcast. We're in Adelaide. We got in last night. This morning, we've gone straight to the Flex store in Adelaide. Busy morning, catching up with the team. It's been maybe 3 months since I've seen them all. Yeah, just trying to understand how the shop's going. It looks really nice. Warehouse is on point. Working on some staffing stuff at the moment. Trying to recruit some new staff, new faces. Heading out to do a podcast. Someone's doing a podcast on me. We met online and yeah, we'll just see how it sort of plays out. Very tired. I think it's been a long 7 days, as you guys may have seen on social media, and now kind of just want to relax, but we can't. We're going to go do this. After this, we're going to drive up and down the Adelaide precinct, just looking at the property scene again, maybe have some lunch, and then go to bed. We're at the Flex Fitness Adelaide store, Parafield. We came here to decide on a store manager's role, and you know what? I give up. So the best way to do it is to simply toss a coin, whether Dima is going to be store manager or not. So let's do it. Dima, heads or tails? One time only. There's no three chances or whatever. It's straight.
Okay, let's do tails.
Tails. Tails is my favorite.
Tails.
Do you want to let the coin drop or do you want me to catch it?
I don't care at this point.
Okay. We'll find out in the video. Danny, when you release this episode, Dima is going to find out his future. We're back at Adelaide Airport. We've spent the last 2 days at the Flex store in Parafield, worked with the staff, did some interviews, really started to get into some deeper training around commercial sales as well, which is quite nice for the team. Checked all the paperwork and we went over how the deliveries are going out because we do full delivery and installs from the Adelaide store. So it's quite a compact team, but they're pumping out quite a bit of work. So a lot of the time was just at the store doing your normal 9 to 5 kind of duties. I was catching up on a lot of emails from the first few days of the week. It has been a very busy week for me this week. I probably would have sent maybe 200-300 emails over the last 3-4 days while we've been this active. So yeah, it's been crazy trying to catch up with that and also do the tasks that we've set aside and film. So yeah, it's been quite challenging. We're going to head back to Perth and this will be 7 flights, I believe, in 7 days. Yeah, it's been crazy. We've been to 4 cities across Australia, checked out the property scene, how we've done a few podcasts. We've met a lot of new people. So it's been quite busy, but I personally feel it's quite rewarding kind of now looking back at the week going, you know, we did quite a lot of work. Sometimes it's not always going to be easy and sometimes, you know, you might not get what you want, but I think if you just keep trying and keep pushing yourself, which is what we've done, it definitely has a good sense of achievement. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe.